Today on CHEK 6 News, free at last, the Birmingham 6. Watching your property slip slide away. And yen for a big family.
CHEK 6, News at Noon, with Lee MacKenzie.
Good afternoon. They spent 16 years in prison for crimes they didn't commit. And now a small group of Irishmen called the Birmingham 6 are free. The 6 were convicted of blowing up 2 pubs in Birmingham in 1974, but an appeals court decided there were gaping holes in the evidence. A police official says the search is now on for the real terrorists. The Birmingham 6 are vowing revenge, and the British justice system is under investigation.
Joy mixed with bitterness as 6 Irishmen, known as the Birmingham 6, were set free after spending 16 years in a British prison for murders they never committed. Their case is being called a travesty, and it has raised serious questions about police honesty and integrity.
The police told us from the start that they knew we hadn't done it. They told us they didn't care who done it. They told us that we were selected and that they were going to frame us. Just to keep...
The 6 men had been convicted of bombing 2 Birmingham pubs in 1974, killing 21 people. 4 of the 6 had confessed, but as these pictures show, they had been beaten by police after their arrest. An investigation revealed that police had fabricated evidence and that forensic tests linking the men to the bombings were flawed.
Justice has been done today, but it took 16 years for this justice to happen.
The Birmingham 6 were treated like conquering heroes by their supporters, but behind the cheers was the anger of injustice, of lives destroyed by official corruption.
Justice! I don't think them people in there have got the intelligence, nor the honesty to spell the word, never mind dispense it. They're rotten!
A royal commission, Britain's most powerful investigative body, will examine the country's entire judicial system. The government is promising compensation, but these men say nothing will repay the pain of 16 years away from their loved ones.
Also savoring freedom are members of the coalition forces who had been held as prisoners of war by Iraq. Now that they're on home territory, they're beginning to speak out about the terror, the loneliness, and the torture they endured at the hands of the Iraqis.
Airmen described how they were forced to make televised statements for their Iraqi captives.
I think our leaders and our people have wrongly attacked the peaceful people of Iraq.
I had enough faith in the Americans to know that anyone that saw this was going to go, that's ridiculous.
To my wife and children, I miss you very much. I am in good hands and being treated well.
Hunter said he felt very bad about making the televised statement until he learned that Saddam's POW display was backfiring.
We discovered that they had only shown 2 or 3 of them, and the reaction from the American public was not what they had desired.
Marine pilot Clifford Ackrey, unbeknown to his captors, passed along strategic information.
I was flying a mission in southern Kuwait and was shot down by a surface-to-air missile.
So we did get something out of it. We sure tried.
They describe moments of personal torment.
My family had to go through somebody telling them that I might be dead. That was the toughest night of all of it.
Some said they had been tortured.
Basically, I had some wires wrapped around my ears and under my chin, and was shocked periodically. You got kind of numb after the first few shocks. It wasn't that terrible. It sounds bad, but it wasn't that terrible.
The physical abuse at the hands of the Iraqis was restrained, according to these ex-POWs. The U.S. pilot said some of their Iraqi captors were compassionate, and one summed up their experience this way.
Nothing as severe or harsh as what you read about during the Vietnam War.
U.S. Brigadier General Richard Neal says American troops are returning to positions deep inside Iraq. But he says it's only to maintain a ground presence in those areas and not to try to get Iraq to sign a permanent ceasefire. The chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Colin Powell, says it is just to demonstrate the U.S. presence and should not fuel speculation that new military operations are imminent. Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev is meeting today with U.S. Secretary of State James Baker in Moscow. Before the meeting, Gorbachev said Saddam Hussein is on his own in dealing with the growing rebellion inside Iraq, and that Moscow won't be helping him fight the anti-Saddam movement. And Gorbachev says he hopes Baker's 3-day visit will result in setting a new date for a summit with American President George Bush. Baker and Gorbachev will also discuss plans for Middle East peace and conventional arms control.
This morning, James Baker held a second round of talks with his Soviet counterpart, Alexander Besmytnikh, before meeting with President Mikhail Gorbachev. The Americans say a Soviet role in a post-war Middle East peace process is essential. For their part, the Soviets are anxious not to be left out. They say a solution to the Arab-Israeli conflict will probably not be possible without their involvement. Other issues on the agenda: arms control and the Soviet Union's domestic crisis. Relations have cooled perceptibly since the Kremlin's bloody crackdown in the Baltics, and Baker will be looking for assurances from Gorbachev that the Soviet leader remains committed to reform. Baker will also hold talks with the leaders of the 15 Soviet republics, including the Baltics. They, no doubt, will be asking for more U.S. support for their independence drives. This on the eve of a crucial national referendum ordered by Gorbachev on keeping the country together.
On Sunday, Soviet citizens go to the polls to vote on whether they want a union of equal Soviet republics. But the answer is a little more complicated than a simple yes or no. And in the final days before the vote, Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev has his huge political machine in full swing.
Communist Party officials campaigning for a yes vote in a Russian pen factory. Commentators on government-controlled Soviet TV explain that a yes vote will preserve the Union as a world superpower. But
a no vote will mean chaos, the downfall of our Union, and could destabilize world politics.
But reformers like Russian President Boris Yeltsin disagree. They are campaigning for a no to Gorbachev's leadership and to his Union tree, which they feel leaves too much power in Moscow's hands. 6 of the Union's 15 republics, including the Baltics, are boycotting the vote they find meaningless. They say they are for a union, but just don't want to be part of one any longer. Despite the boycott, Gorbachev is making sure that those who want to vote can. In breakaway Lithuania, Soviet authorities have already opened polling stations in pro-Moscow areas. Lithuanian nationalists say they will not intervene.
200 million Soviets are eligible to vote, and results will probably take a few days. Many predict that Gorbachev will get the majority yes he's looking for, but are quick to add that it will make probably very little difference. He'll be facing the same difficult, intractable economic and political problems after the vote as he is right now.
Coming up after the break, will modern times crowd out the Sussex Hotel?
Every 7 Canadians has mobility difficulties. Don't shut them out.
A compact car with 35 standard features for under $9,000. Sound impossible? Sounds like Dodge Shadow S and Plymouth Sundance S. With the largest engines in their class, great fuel economy and roominess. Chrysler dealers are also giving $500 cash to you, or automatic transmission at no extra cost. Plus, the longest powertrain warranty in its class. With Plymouth Sundance S and Dodge Shadow S, you get more for less. Only Chrysler makes it possible. Advantage, Chrysler.
Treats you right with a taste fantastic, like the Peanut Buster Parfait for just $1.99. Dairy Queen with crunchy peanut peanuts and layers of thick, hot fudge. Who else treats you right with a beauty like this $1.99 banana split? Creamy smooth, light tasting and delicious. The Dairy Queen Peanut Mustard Parfait and Banana Split, only at your Dairy Queen store. Now, only $1.99 each. We treat you right.
Welcome back. Victoria City Police got their man in a break-in that turned into a break-out last night. The police responded to an intruder alarm at Monk Office Supplies on Fort Street in the city and surprised the man who had broken in. The intruder then broke out right through the half-inch thick plate glass window. He got away, but police tracking dogs found him a few blocks away. The breakout artist has been charged with, you guessed it, breaking in. Vancouver police have declared war on Asian gangs. Starting this weekend, the police gangs crimes unit will be doubled. 8 officers and a corporal have been moved from various sections to beef up the department's commitment to suppress the growth of gang-related crime. Just yesterday, there were 2 more execution-style shootings in Vancouver, leaving 1 man dead and another seriously injured. Even the police officers say they're startled by the amount of weaponry seized on a daily basis.
The weaponry of Vancouver's gang startles even police officials. This small selection of Uzi submachine guns, sawed-off shotguns, and semi-automatic pistols is just a sample of what's used by local gangs.
I haven't noticed an incredible increase in the last year that I've been assigned to the unit. However, I would anticipate there's probably 400 or so hardcore gang members out there, and maybe we're looking at another 1,000 associates.
What kind of crimes are the gang members involved in? We've seen a lot of the drive-by shootings and stuff, but what other stuff are they?
Just about everything. Anything they can make $1 at. Extortions, break-ins, robberies.
And shootings. The man shoved out of a van and fatally shot in the parking lot of the G.F. Strong Rehabilitation Center carried no identification. It was the second execution-style shooting within hours.
3 loud shots, man. I was like in my room, man. Boom, boom, boom. Then I heard the car skid right out of here.
Did you see the car?
No, I didn't see a car, because then I looked out the window, and by then the car was gone. And then before I know it, here, police cars and ambulances, man. Stupid, eh?
I heard a crack. I looked in my rearview mirror and turned around, and I saw a couple individuals running away, and I saw someone lying on the ground, and just sat there and was sort of in a little shock.
Like that should happen right in the middle of the day, right in the day, right by a hospital. Unbelievable.
Speaking for the office of the Chief Constable, the point we really want to make here this morning is that we are willing, as a police department, to commit whatever resources we have to, particularly to the Asian community, to suppress the problem of organized crime that we've been dealing with for a number of years. What we're now seeking is for the community to come to us, meet us halfway, and match the commitment that we've made here today. We need people to supply us with information. We need people to testify in court. And our message to the Asian community is that you don't have to be a victim anymore. You know, the system will work if you work with us and permit the system to work. And I'll say once again, as we've said publicly on a number of occasions, in all the years we've been investigating this sort of crime, in hundreds of cases and hundreds of witnesses we've taken through court, we have never had anything happen to a witness.
Trouble between 2 political factions at the Ross Street Sikh temple is blamed for the shooting of Bikar Singh Dhillon, a moderate in the debate over whether Sikhs should have a separate state in India. He was gunned down in his driveway, but he'll survive and will be questioned by police today. Police have doubled the gang unit to deal with increasing factional crimes, but say the federal government has to cooperate. The police want improved deportation laws so that there's quicker removal of the criminal element.
4 months after the floods, people living along the sliding banks of Millstream Creek may be finally in for some good news. After haggling since November, various levels of government have worked out what could be a solution so that work can proceed on shoring up the creek's eroding banks. As Bruce Kirkpatrick tells us, the agreement comes just in time, for some hope and their yards were slipping away.
Millstream Creek, picturesque and serene, but it wasn't always like this. On November 23rd last year, a flood turned the creek into a lake, Debris clogged a tunnel that runs under CP rail tracks. The creek backed up and rose 20 meters. It caused untold damage, and the telling was only evident when the waters drained away. The Millstream Action Group claims 11 homes have been damaged, and the creek banks are still moving. There's evidence as backyards slipped downward. The flood caused large slides, including one in Dennis Whitehead's backyard. A stump and small tree on top were once part of his backyard. He's lost 30 feet of property and stands to lose more if something isn't done.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing problem that if it's not corrected totally, it's useless correcting at all. The house will eventually go over the bank.
Jeff Morrow went out for a backyard stroll one Sunday and found a hole on the edge of his patio. The sidewalk is cracked, and he has had to use extra beams to save the corner of his house. Morrow and others say the Wandafuka Parks and Recreation Commission has refused to accept responsibility for creek damage. Millstream Creek runs through Crown land owned by JDF Parks and Rec.
Certainly they don't want to be involved financially based on legal reasoning. Our feeling is, like any other good neighbor, they should take some responsibility.
A commissioner on the Wandafuka Parks and Recreation Commission says work can be done to shore up the banks of Millstream Creek if residents match JDF funds, dollar for dollar.
I have, through grants and aid, offered to put money through Wandafuka Parks to the residents to match whatever commitment they would make themselves on the property. It's a multi-jurisdictional problem that we have here, and nobody's taking responsibility. So what we've done
Dalby goes further, promising a park for those who live along Millstream Creek.
We would turn that property over to them at such time that it's repaired, so they would also end up with their own private park basically out of it.
The man who spearheaded the move to get funding to fix the creek banks has been successful. The provincial government has promised $500,000 for the work, and the Capital Regional District, through JDF Parks and Rec, another $15,000.
Would give us a letter committee. They have us over a barrel, and we will match them dollar for dollar. If they contribute $15,000, we, the residents, will pick up the tab for the remaining $15,000 because we want to see the job finished.
Federal Fisheries has now given permission for crews to come in here and stabilize the creek bed and the bank sometime this summer. The months of July and August are open for the work. It is a political football still being tossed among parties, both residential and official, as to who's going to pay for it all. But everyone remembers that fateful day on November 23rd when the creek rose to the height of the top of this stump.
Victoria City Council has decided to forward a controversial development proposal to public hearing. The plan would see a $25 million 12-story office tower built at the corner of Douglas and Broughton. And to build it, developers would have to tear down the old Sussex Hotel. And with the memories of Cadillac Fairview and the Eaton Center still fresh, that could spark another fight over heritage. Howard Markson has the story.
This is the Sussex Apartment Hotel at Douglas and Broughton. Built in 1938, it is the last example of Art Deco architecture in downtown Victoria. When it was constructed, it was one of the most fashionable hotels in the city, though it has lost some of its glitter over the years.
Over the years, the Sussex Hotel built up a repeat and regular clientele. There's one charming story of how one year, the top 3 letters in the neon sign of the hotel burned out, leaving customers wondering just what sort of services were being offered here.
Now the site is being examined with different eyes. Developers, aware of Victoria's shortage of office space, want to build a new office tower on the busy corner. Princeton Developments of Edmonton had a plan for a building that would see the hotel replicated up Broughton. That plan doesn't sit very well with heritage enthusiasts who want the building saved just where it is.
And in this building, and it really formed a very sensitive and attractive gateway to the city. And I think it's very important that the Sussex be maintained on this location, not moved in pieces up the street.
The company has responded to some of the concerns. They've redesigned their plans to be more fitting for the city, but it means the hotel will be torn down. The company says it has examined the structure and it can't be saved.
The reports we received were conclusive in that the building was unsafe, couldn't be saved and in a manner that was very useful in the new development without an enormous expense.
Caught in the middle of all this are those businesses still operating in the hotel building.
That looks terrific, Willie.
Thank you, Mr. Blackmore. Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Willie's Rendezvous Restaurant and the Central Barber Shop are examples. They have to re-sign their leases every 30 days, which makes doing business difficult.
What can you do? It's a painful thing that been established here, and you got your clientele, everybody knows where you are after 15 years, and you move again, you got to spend money. It's going to be very painful for all of us. And
maybe we'll be here, and maybe we'll be gone in 3 months, so it's really difficult. And since the other stores are closed, it doesn't help business.
One building across the street has been restored successfully, but the fate of the Sussex Hotel is still uncertain. Whether it survives or makes way for progress will be up to council at the public hearing.
Well, tomorrow is the day the 17th annual Timmy's Telethon gets underway. Today we have two special guests to tell us more about the telethon, the chairman of this year's extravaganza, Bill Hewson, and this year's Timmy, Robert Eisen. Thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're Timmy this year.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get to be Timmy this year?
Well, some people choose me because every time when I get to be Timmy, I put some dirt at the dartboard every time. Because I think every people in the dog think I'm very nice.
Were you Timmy last year?
Yes.
So this is second time around.
Yeah.
What did you like best about being Timmy last year?
Well, I liked because my dad chose me to be Timmy.
Ah, but it was fun.
Yeah, I think so too, because I think everybody should go down to the Bristol Playhouse and get some checks for $200,000 or $100,000. I don't know.
Now that sounds like a pretty good plan.
That's an excellent plan.
Now we've got you on the go here now, Robert. Should I be calling you Timmy or should I be calling you Robert? What should it be?
Timmy.
Timmy. Okay. Well, Timmy, why is it important that there is a Timmy?
Because I think the other kid was sick, and they chose me.
Oh, I see.
I think when I was on the ferry boat going to Vancouver, and I kind of got sick, and I threw up a couple of times.
Oh, but you're okay now.
Yeah.
Good. And are you ready for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Great. Is it scary being on television though in a telethon?
No.
Oh.
Well, can we pick them or can we pick them?
Okay, now let's get down to a little bit of the nuts and bolts of the telethon for tomorrow now.
Okay.
Before we ask Robert any more questions. And people will be watching the show.
We're hoping that everyone will be watching us on their local cable station all the way up and down the island this year. We're fortunate that we've got all the cable stations involved right from Victoria through to Port Hardy. So, and they can all phone 381-1991. That's our number.
And phone in your pledges.
Absolutely. And we'd love to have them at the theater. This is just such a great night.
What are you laughing about?
It's such a great event. We just want to have everybody down there having a good time.
And you'll be there.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to be very happy.
Well, you're very happy right now. There's no question of that. Okay. And let me see. Oh, and there are also prizes for pledging, so people shouldn't forget that.
Yeah, we have a lot of really neat prizes this year. We've got a diamond pendant, a mountain bike. We've got some trips for people. We've got a weekend at the Pacific Sands Resort. So with any pledge, if they come down and we put their name in the barrel and it's drawn every hour, and we'll have all kinds of gifts for them and lots of things to do at the theater at the McPherson.
And you'll be working hard, and so will you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Lee.
We're going to take a break, but first, here's a look at today's markets.
There is no better way to clean your dentures than brushing with Denture Cream. Its unique, high polishing formula keeps your dentures sparkling clean and your mouth feeling minty fresh. Denture Cream, what a beautiful reason to smile.
Listen! Listen to the sound of a whole other hole. Apple cinnamon Cheerio!
Real apples, whole grain oats, and cinnamon make every O taste as good as it sounds.
Listen to the sound of a whole other hole. Apple cinnamon Cheerio! Listen!
Beautiful carpeting, beautiful upholstery. Now it's easy to keep them clean with a Power Steamer by Bissell. The Power Steamer is a professional-style cleaning machine. Deep clean carpeting, spots and spills, and whole rooms. Clean upholstery, sofas, chairs, and in your car. The Power Steamer shoots a warm cleaning formula and pulls out deep-down dirt vacuums can't. It's Bissell's best with many special features. Don't rent, own your own Bissell Power Steamer and deep clean anytime you like.
Only $239.99 now at Eaton's.
The special edition Civic sedan with so many extra features as standard equipment. Now you can fall in love without paying the price.
Just one in the special edition series, now available at your Honda dealer.
Win Fairway Cash and products in Fairway Market Scratch, Match, and Win. More than 22,000 prizes, gift certificates up to $1,000 with a second chance draw for 4 brand new TVs. Scratch, Match, and Win at a Fairway near you.
Native Affairs Minister Jack Weisgerber says he hopes Indians will ignore calls for protests over the Gitscan land claim ruling. The Union of BC Indian Chiefs have issued a call province-wide for direct action to protest the BC Supreme Court decision striking down that land claim. Weisgerber says he hopes BC Indians will continue to pursue peaceful means to resolve the province's Indian land claim question. Take a look at the weather now. Milder temperatures, clouds, and showers for the weekend. Here is the satellite picture. A ridge of high pressure over the south coast will give a mix of sun and cloud today. Further north, a Pacific frontal system will move onto the coast, bringing periods of rain. And this system will slide south tonight, weaken, and leave showers over some coastal areas. For the forecast now, for North and West Vancouver Island, tonight, rain after midnight, low of 2 degrees. For tomorrow, cloudy with showers and a high of 8. For South and East Island, cloudy periods tonight, a low of 1. For tomorrow, chance of afternoon showers and a high of 10. And in the long-range picture for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, mostly cloudy with showers and highs around 11 degrees. That's a few degrees warmer than normal. And in the marine forecast now, for the Strait of Georgia, winds southeast 5 to 15 knots. In the Strait of Juan de Fuca, winds east 10 to 15 knots. And out on the west coast of the island, winds east-southeast 10 to 20 knots. Alex joins us now with a look at sports.
We have a big day. Curling and basketball dominate the scene. And first of all, tiebreakers are now underway at the Victoria Curling Club for the Canadian Senior Men's and Women's Championship. On the men's side this morning, the Northwest Territories defeated British Columbia 9-4. Ontario knocked off Alberta 6-4. So the Territories and Ontario play each other this afternoon at 2. The winner from that will advance into the semifinal against Saskatchewan. And of course, Manitoba's Jim Ursel sits back and awaits for an opponent in tomorrow's championship finale. Meanwhile, on the ladies' side, Saskatchewan and Manitoba play each other at 7 o'clock tonight. The winner there will advance against Northern Ontario in the finale tomorrow. Well, Victoria High School basketball fans are sitting on the edge of their seats today as we head into the semifinal round of the championship draw at the Provincial Senior Boys AAA High School Championship. Unranked Belmont has advanced into the semifinals following an unbelievable 70-56 victory against the number 2 ranked team from Pitt Meadows in Vancouver last night. The young junior star, Amrit Lally, with 24 points, 10 in the first period. Now, Belmont was awesome from start to finish, building a 26-point lead in the second period. Just a great effort by Muzz Bryant and his Belmont Braves. Meanwhile, for St. Michael's University School of Victoria, they may not be part of the championship draw. However, the team has done well, as John McKeechee reports.
The loser's bracket is a bummer. The odds are you have to play in the morning. Either way, there aren't many fans around. Mind you, there's always your one chance to get on the tube. Hello, Terrace. We're here. But of course, there's always a story. The kids from Caledonia have been here before. For Victoria's St. Michael's Blue Devils, this is their first trip to the tournament. This is a AAA tournament based on male population. St. Mike's is technically too small.
We're AA size in numbers, but the kids wanted to play AAA this year. We'd established a lot of good natural rivalries with the schools in Victoria last year as a junior team, and they wanted to play against the same guys. So it's been a great year, Island champions.
So now they've had a taste of it, they should be better next season for at least 3 reasons. 1, the experience. 2, most of these kids are in grade 11. And 3, these 2 guys. They both transferred from nearby and arch-rival Mount Douglas High after the school year began. It caused some controversy given they were starters on that team and will be next year. Worse for Mount Doug, Steve Nash in the blue shirt helped them win the BC soccer title. But both made the move for academic reasons, but had to miss basketball for this season. Are you bitter they made you sit out a year?
A little bit, because when you come here and stuff and everyone else is playing and it's like out here in this big stadium and stuff, it kind of hurts when you don't get to play. And I don't know. I really wish we could play, but I guess they had to make a tough decision.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence you made the move right after you won the BC Soccer Championship?
No, I think that just shows how ironic the move was. Like, I was having fun. It was a great time at Mount Doug. We won the championship, you know.
I wasn't doing well in school, and I wanted to get better grades for myself. And the move has helped me a lot so far. And sitting out this year, it hurts, just like you said, but we had sacrifices that we had to make.
Steve knew a move was inevitable, but would have gone elsewhere if there wasn't basketball. Jamie's move was regardless of hoop. The coach agrees with the embargo decision, aware of the long-term ramifications.
One of my real fears is that sometimes I think high school basketball in particular gets a little bit out of perspective, its importance in their lives, and they fail to see some of the other things that are important in their education.
Meanwhile, the CIAU basketball championships are about to get underway in Halifax. Certainly a tough assignment for the UVic Vikings in game number 1. The Vikes are against the defending champions from Concordia tonight. Meanwhile, the other Canada West participant, UBC, will also be in action today. The Thunderbirds are against Acadia. Just 2 games are being played tonight in the NHL. The Rangers at New Jersey. Winnipeg will host Edmonton. A chance for the Jets to increase to 3 points. Their lead over the Canucks for the 4th and final playoff spot, that is, in the Smythe Division. The Canucks are idle until tomorrow when they take on the New York Islanders. Now, the Canucks are still feeling the effects of that devastating loss the other night to the Philadelphia Flyers, a game in which the Canucks were in control with that 4-1 lead.
It's definitely disappointing. I think, you know, we started out real well, played well in the first period, and then, you know, we didn't play well in the second and the third, so it's a tough loss for us right now.
You can see it coming. Our forwards were cheating. They weren't coming back. It was 4-1. It was la-di-da time. And we don't, you just wonder about a team that gets into la-di-da time when they're fighting for a playoff spot. I can see a first-place team doing it, but not this hockey club, and so it churns your stomach.
Well, the Victoria Warriors lost to Powell River last night in Game 1 of the BC Junior Coast Division Championship finale. Game 2 goes tonight, again in Powell River. Then the series, this best-of-7 set, shifts back to the Wandafuka Recreation Center for Games 3 and 4. What a great day for Canada at the World Figure Skating Championships yesterday in Munich. Kurt Browning, who showed up on the scene 5 years ago, has now put together his 3rd straight World Championship. And for the 3rd straight year, he was trailing heading into the final program. And again, he came through with a magical free skate performance. This three-peat was won appropriately with triples, many of them back-to-back. Browning landed 8 of them, and for technical merit and artistic impression, he scored 5 8s and 5 9s. Now, there was room for Victor Petrenko to move into first place, but even though the Soviet managed to count a perfect 6 for artistic impression from one judge, it wasn't enough to dethrone Kurt Browning. Petrenko with the silver medal. Todd Elbridge of the U.S. was the bronze medalist. And experience and determination paid off handsomely this morning for Rick Swenson. Swenson, his dog team and sled, crossed the finish line in Nome, Alaska, and won an unprecedented 5th victory in the Iditarod sled dog race. Defending champion Susan Butcher was still far down the trail when it was over.
Maybe she's gotten a little bit soft with 4 victories under her belt. She's going to have to get 6 now if she wants to be the top dog.
Ooh, them's fighting words.
I won't add any more to that, unless you'd like to.
I already did.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex. John Piper will be here after the break to explain the arts at the old Marks and Sparks.
Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. And you're living your life the way you want it to be. When you're reaching your goals and living out your dreams. Yeah, moving up. You know there's no time like today. Come to college.
For course information and start dates, call 386-3432.
Butter. It doesn't take much.
Katie, what's for breakfast? Scrambled eggs. Oh. And cheese. Cheese? Yeah, right inside there. I'm gonna roll this cheese. More cheese, please.
In a recent Canadian Automobile Association survey, an average of over 90% of Corolla owners said that given the opportunity to do it again, they'd gladly buy another one. The new Toyota Corolla. Perhaps its greatest virtue is that it rewards loyalty with loyalty.
I thought you had an important meeting. I do. Happy birthday, Dad.
Toyota, the promise of something better.
Starting Wednesday, March 13th, and for the rest of the week, you'll find fantastic savings during Zeller's Days. Save money as you lose weight with chocolate or vanilla Slim Fast, only $7.96 each. Look great in men's name brand jeans, Levi's and GWG, only $19.77. Remember, only one store gives you free valuable Club Z points. All this and more during Zeller's Days.
John Piper joins us now. You were enjoying that interview with Robert Eisen, the new Timmy, or
well, the
Timmy for
telethon
this
is always
year.
such fun, and there's usually good entertainment as well. And hey, a couple of surprise guests.
Big celebs.
Big celebs known as Dim and Half, the Witt brothers, who also pass as Alex Robertson and Hudson Mack from CHEK, of course.
Owie.
They're going to get me for that. Now, I know they're going to get me for that. Anyway, for those of you who've been wondering what's been going on this week down at Marks and Sparks, the Marks and Spencer building on Douglas Street, it's the results of all the hammering and sawing is now on view for all of you to see. That building, the Emporium, if you will, has been given over to Look 91, the 9th annual regional juried art show. It opened last night with a gala schmooze and features more than 400 pieces of visual artwork. Surely of all shows, this is one with something for everyone. More than 175 regional artists are represented in the show. That's right, 175, as the Greater Victoria Community Arts Council has brought a lot of talent together under one roof. It should not be forgotten that this is a sale, too, as well as an art show. Many of the works available for the serious collector or for you, the amateur art lover, who sees what he or she likes and wants it. Believe me, they will accommodate you. Now, the juried art show and sale, spearheaded by Pat McGuire, a host of local volunteers, gives you a chance to see the talent available in your community and to savor it afterwards if something catches your eye, which you just must have. Now, the show runs through this weekend and all of next week and will end on Saturday, March 23rd. It's open Monday to Thursday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., noon to 9 on Fridays, and 1 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday this weekend and next. It is the largest show in the 9 years of the event. Every exhibition entry has been vetted by an arts jury, two very well-known individuals, Sandra Semchuk and Keith Wallace. And they did that back in January. Now, also on view, 20 pieces selected for Images and Objects 9, the visual arts component of the BC Festival of the Arts. Believe me, if you find something there which does not suit your taste, don't worry, we can't all agree with the jurors. Chances are you walk across the room, there'll be something which to you is a visual treat. The ambitious undertaking, the Arts Council, its volunteers should be extremely proud, so go take a look. Now, it's the weekend. A couple of quick notes regarding entertainment events. On Saturday night, the Victoria Youth Orchestra has a special spring concert at the University Center Auditorium at 8 p.m. And tickets at the door, be sure to get there early. Now, there's also a few tickets left for the Victoria Symphony Orchestra's Masterwork Series event on Sunday and Monday. Russian virtuoso violinist Alexander Markov is the featured guest. Sunday at 2:30, Monday at 8 o'clock, Royal Theatre. Tickets, as they say, at the usual outlets. Now, films coming in this weekend. Robert De Niro in Guilty by Suspicion. A look at the McCarthy anti-communist tirades of the 1950s comes to the University Cinema. Others include Gene Hackman and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantino in Class Action, about conflict between dad and daughter lawyers. At the Odeon, at the Roxy, the local premiere of something I think you should enjoy if you enjoy music, Listen Up, the history of Quincy Jones, his life and his music. And then there's a couple of crash bang wallopers called Perfect Weapon and If Looks Could Kill. They're at the Capitol. Warlock is at the Town. Busy weekend. Do enjoy yours, and do enjoy yours.
I will. You like sports.
Of course.
No argument that sports is entertainment.
Almost as much as the legislature.
That's true. Well, yes. And now we'll take a moment to stop and appreciate some of the lesser celebrated sports stories in the past few weeks, courtesy of NBC News. It's called Spanning the World.
I'm excited.
It's Spanning the World. All right, time to play ball. How about the Denver Nugget mascot goes up for the dunk? And, well, a clunk instead. A clunk. Then there's the Phoenix Gorilla. What's the call here? Right, traveling. Yeah, but here's the shot of the month. Debbie Barnes, Wyatt High in Fort Worth, Texas, saves the ball, falling out of bounds. 3 points. Way to go, Debbie. Here are some coaching moves that have taken place. Former coach Tommy Heinze, you know, he's still attracting the groupies after all these years. Isn't that nice? Here comes Michael Adams on the fast break. Nice defensive play by Milwaukee coach Del Harris. Come on, Del, get out of there. Doug Sotart in Kansas City. I like this. A man, that garbage pail, could you please thank you very much. Yeah, that was the right garbage pail. I didn't want the other one. Lawrence Taylor was asked what he'll do when he's through with football.
I want to swing a golf club. I want to raise sheep.
Well, at the Hope Classic, he could do both, which is very nice. That's my kind of shot. A cart in one. Our horse racing names of the month. Here they are.
And they're off. Bodacious Tatas breaks alertly and is sent immediately to the lead. On the outside, I'm no bimbo. No sex plays on the outside. Bodacious Tatas trying to go the distance here. No sex please. Getting up.
You won't believe it. No sex please is a gelding. Here are the moves of the month. First, in Malibu, California, they call this dry land luge. Looks like fun. Oh, no. Oh, look out. Russ Collins in Pomona, California. Think this is easy? As you know, on Spanning the World, nobody gets hurt. He walked away without a scratch. Way to go, Russ. Oh, then there's Wally Muhammad. You know, he's biting James Salerno on the arm, right in the middle. And he denied that he took the meal.
I'm a vegetarian, man. Why would I want to bite Salerno?
Vegetarians don't eat arms. And finally, our wedding of the month took place on Valentine's Day in California.
Bind your two lives together in holy marriage. May God bless you as you go down, and may he bring you back up.
Can't believe that. You know, talk about taking the plunge. Oh, man.
Tune in next time for Spanning the World. If there is a next time.
John Pfeiffer had his money on Bodacious Tatas, he told me. The Dahlia days are upon us. Len Rocliffe will explain after the break.
Denture wearers, here's Jane Powell for Polident.
One thing I learned growing up in Hollywood is how important it is to always look your best.
Which is why if you wear dentures, you should always use Super Strength Polident. Super Strength Polident soaks away the toughest stains to leave your dentures super clean. And its minty mouthwash ingredient, leaves them minty fresh, too. So put your best smile forward with Super Strength Polident. It leaves your dentures minty fresh clean.
This superior performance is brought to you by Chevron's premium gasolines with Tetraline.
Chevron, your town pump. Dandruff? Choose an effective dandruff shampoo, Denorex. It has an extra anti-itch medicine and a tingle, so you can actually feel it working. Make the choice for great-looking hair. Denorex Dandruff Shampoo.
Do you know why hemorrhoids itch and hurt? It's because of the swelling. That's why I use Preparation H. You see, Preparation H shrinks swollen hemorrhoids, and when you get rid of the swelling, you relieve the itch and pain.
Preparation H shrinks hemorrhoids.
It's really that simple.
Well, we've calmed down a little bit now. It's time to welcome Len to the show, and you're going to tell us about propagating dahlias, and that's not a racehorse.
No, and it's safer. I never have any luck with the ponies.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, it is dahlia propagating time in March. So today we will visit the greenhouse at the Horticulture Center of the Pacific and watch true dahlia expert Bill Kempster showing us how it's done.
These are dahlia tubers that have been stored over the winter in some peat moss, and we're now ready to start propagating. And there are two methods, one by starting fresh cuttings and rooting them. The other is
by division.
Just by division, like you would do with a potato, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And here is what you would do to separate a tuber. All you need is one separate tuber with all the growth on it.
So as long as you've got some eyes that are visible here,
that's right.
You know that they will grow. When you put this into the earth, this part's just going to deteriorate over the summer.
Over the summer, that'll deteriorate. All your new dahlia tuber roots will come from the bottom of these this growth. They'll all come out from there, and this will make a tuber the same as that at the end of next summer.
Now, that's the simplest way of doing it, but you prefer to do it by taking cuttings. Why?
Well, because you've got a ready garden when you plant it out, and I always find you get earlier bloom by cuttings as well. This is the way you should take a cutting, right from the top of the tuber. If you let it get up here too high, they'll get a hollow stem and they won't root. We'll prove that in a minute. So when you get down here, what you do is take a cutting just below a leaf node.
Now you can see some leaves coming out there, so you know that's a leaf node.
That's right. So what you do, you take off those two little pieces.
Yeah.
Just trim it about 1/8 of an inch below the cut. And dip it in some #1 root-tone powder.
Yep.
And just put it in a median, and the median is what we have here, is half perlite and half vermiculite.
Half and half.
And that's about 2 weeks from now, that cutting should develop into a root.
Well, this one over here has rooted. Let's show what that looks like.
That is rooted. That cutting I took about 2 weeks ago.
There we go.
See? And
Turn it to the camera and we can see those nice little roots.
There's the roots on it, and that was taken about 2 weeks ago, and that's the same variety that I've just taken that cutting off of there.
So that would be ready to pot up if we were to
yes,
have a little pot ready here with some
that's right. What I usually do is make a little crown with my finger, put it back in it, put it in, and there it is potted up, ready to grow.
And you let that grow until danger of frost is past, and put that out in the garden.
Let that grow till it gets probably 4 or at least 6 pairs of leaves, and then pinch the top out.
And that way you'll get two shoots coming.
At every leaf node, it will branch out, and then you'll get nice 6 big shoots coming up, and that's about all you need for a start. What I would like to demonstrate is to take this one out of here, cut it just above that leaf node because that'll break out again,
Ah, I know what you're demonstrating. I can see the hollow in it already.
That's right. You see, if that has got a hollow in it, see, there? Look at
That will not root.
That will not root. It's maybe 1 in 100. That will not root. So it's no good letting your growth get too large before you take a cutting.
Now, one thing we might point out, Bill, is that where you took this cutting from, there will be new ones coming, and you can take further cuttings later on in the spring, can't you?
Absolutely. Here's a very good sample on here. You see, there's 3, 4 shoots all the way around where I've taken a cutting. And that one, you see, there's 4 around there as well. So you could take more cuttings. And by that, if you pay an exorbitant price for a certain variety, which you get one single piece of tuber and sometimes only quarter the size of that, and you could take more cuttings off of that, and you could still plant that tuber, and you've multiplied that one variety where you've got quite a few plants.
By the way, tomorrow and Sunday, the Horticulture Center of the Pacific will be holding their annual sale of bare root perennials. They're at 505 Quail Road. And Lee, on Sunday morning on CFAX at 10 o'clock, we'll be talking to longtime professional gardener George Radford. He'll be there to answer questions if you have any.
Okay, I'm sure I would. Thanks very much, Lynn.
Okay.
Still ahead, the Japanese government has a plan to encourage families to have more children. But will it work?
This Saturday, we're celebrating the savings during Sears Super Saturday. It's also the last day of our amazing deferred payment offer. Don't miss Super Saturday at Sears. Your money's worth and more. Watch for the flyer.
Security is knowing that, despite the string carrots, and also despite the spilt juice, and even despite the dried formula, there's new liquid ivory snow. Because it's a liquid, you can pour it right onto stains, so stubborn ones like these are easier to get out. And security is knowing that because it's ivory, it's soft and gentle on baby skin. Security is ivory snow, powder, and new liquid. A security blanket for mothers.
At Vidal Sassoon, we believe getting hair into superior salon condition takes 3 steps: shampoo, conditioner, and finishing rinse. Now, the benefits of these 3 salon steps are in one bottle. Vidal Sassoon Ultra, the first salon shampoo and protein conditioner with the benefits of a finishing rinse. This final step helps seal and protect hair from styling stress. Shampooing, conditioning, even finishing, all in one. For salon quality hair, 3 benefits, 1 bottle. Ultra.
Much.
Where's the cheese? It's Jimmy. Katie! Are you looking for some cheese? Cheese for me, please. 1 chunk or 2.
This Saturday, we're celebrating the savings during Sears Super Saturday. It's also the last day of our amazing deferred payment offer. Don't miss Super Saturday at Sears. Your money's worth and more. Watch for the flyer.
In Japan, the birth rate has fallen to an all-time low, on average less than 2 children per family. The Japanese government isn't happy about those numbers. The government wants families to have more children and has come up with an aggressive solution to encourage people to have more babies. But it seems it's a plan that just won't work.
Izumi Yosanai has been awake for 12 hours and at work for 8, but her day is far from over. After she winds up her job for the city of Yokohama, Izumi is off on an 1.5-hour commute. Most nights she makes a pit stop to pick up 3-year-old Kosuke at the daycare center. When she gets home, the breakfast dishes are still in the sink and a hungry husband is in the doorway. Welcome to a modern Japanese household, where mom has a full-time job, dad helps in the kitchen, and baby is in daycare. Modern households seem to be a mystery to the Japanese government. To inspire couples to have bigger families, the government is doubling the bonuses it pays for babies. 5,000 yen a month, or $40, for the first 2 kids, and twice that for any more. As though families have babies for money, and as though women have nothing else to do. Eiji and Izumi say time and money stop them from having another child.
Both of us work and barely have enough time now for Kosuke. It would be really rough with a second child. We were really lucky to get this apartment 2 years ago. We can't afford a bigger place now, and we don't have room for another child here.
But the government fears serious economic problems if Japanese couples don't have more babies. The average age is rising faster here than anywhere else. The government will face a Social Security crunch without more young people to support the elderly.
The falling birth rate is really an economic problem. Medical and retirement costs are already high and getting higher.
And then feminists say the government thinks too much about economics.
Those men simply really don't understand what's happening to women, what's going on in your own society.
The government's bonus plan ignores real life for modern Japanese women. These days, many women define their lives outside the home. More than 60% of Japanese women work, and a third postpone marriage till their 30s. The government does support daycare centers like this one, but only now is it planning to keep them open past 6 for full-time working parents. And only now is it drafting Japan's first child care bill. At 93, Shizue Kato has been a feminist for 7 decades.
In older times, women supposed to be a good wife and good mother, always obedient to what government wants them to do. But now they all think now we must have our own idea.
She remembers back to the government's last baby drive to repopulate Japan after World War II. Then, even in the harshest conditions, women responded to the government plea to go forth and multiply. Today, a government commercial extolling the virtues of a big family falls on deaf ears.
Who would have a child for 5,000 yen? You don't have a child for your country, you have one for your partner. Giving out bonuses to raise the birth rate is bad policy.
And ignores the real reasons to have a family.
And that's our noon report. Thanks for joining us today. We'll leave you now with the names of the people who put CHEK 6 News on the air. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday at noon.
He's not a macho guy. Actually, he's more of a nacho guy. He's the real guy, and he's on real late Friday nights here on CHEK 6.